Hello and welcome to Joy in Our Town, TBN St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman. Did you know the St. Joseph Transit began its public transportation history in 1887? It was also owned privately and a horse-drawn trolley. Since then, the St. Joseph Transit has grown and is no longer a horse-drawn trolley. And today we are joined with Mary Gaston, who is going to speak with us about the St. Joseph Transit. Mary Gaston, welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad you could join us today.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, so we're going to begin by telling us a bit about yourself and your position with the St. Joseph Transit.
I am the general manager at the St. Joseph Transit System. I've been in St. Joseph for 3 years now, and I really like the community. It's a nice place.
That's wonderful. All right, so can you tell us what exactly is the St. Joseph Transit? How does this work?
We provide fixed route deviation service. It's a little different than most places. Let me tell you how that works.
Definitely. Tell
Okay.
me.
we publish fixed routes and schedules just like most transit systems do. So there's a route map and a schedule of times and that kind of thing. But we do something a little extra. For anybody who asks for it, we will deviate off of the fixed route to pick somebody up or drop them off closer to a place that's not right on the bus route. So it's really good for people who are not able to walk very well or use a wheelchair,
Right.
or somebody who's traveling with little kids and doesn't want to have to, walk very far to the bus stop with them, those kind of things.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a
All
great
right.
service.
Exactly. So with this system, you say you can pick them up and take them to various places that may not be on the route. Do they have to make a reservation ahead of time? How does that work?
If you want to be picked up off of the route, you have to let us know because we wouldn't know to come to get you otherwise.
Right.
So you can either call us or you can even do it online if you want, but most people just give us a call and set up a pickup so they can tell the dispatcher what time they want to be picked up. They can figure out what's the best route to do it, and we set it up ahead of time. And then when it's time for that trip to be made, it goes out to the driver on the bus via a mobile data computer that's right there on the bus. People can call as little as 30 minutes in advance to set that up, so it can be pretty flexible.
Definitely.
But you can also set it up so it's on a schedule. So, for example, if you got picked up every Friday morning to go to an appointment, you can set it up in the schedule so we come every Friday morning, and you don't have to call us every time to set that up. So we can do that for people every day if they need it, like for a work trip or to go to school, something like that.
That is wonderful.
It's a great service.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so you said it's in the St. Joseph area, but is that the only service area? Like, who can receive services from the St. Joseph Transit?
We have routes that go over pretty much all of St. Joseph. We also go across the river to Kansas, to Elwood, and we can pick up and drop over there certain times of the day. We don't go every trip to do that, but every other trip all day long, Monday through Friday, people over there can get a trip.
So as long as I'm in
to and from
one of those
St. Joseph.
2 areas?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay, and where can I catch this bus at?
Every single route has bus stops that we publish along the way. So each of our 8 routes has about 20 bus stops that we publish. And you can always be at those and catch the bus. You can also be in between, but because of the deviations, sometimes we don't get back exactly where we went off of the route if it's hard to get turned around. So we always encourage people to be at the time points that are published on the schedules, and that way people don't get missed. So there's plenty of published stops along every route, so people can catch the bus. We have signs that are up along the routes that locate a lot of the bus stops. So it makes it easy for people to see this is where a bus route goes through. And,
Exactly.
if it's in their neighborhood, they've seen the sign so they know where to go.
All right.
The other thing is if people are not sure about where to catch the bus, they should just call us because we're happy to answer those questions. We do that all day long for people.
So you said with the bus, there's different signs that's set up to know where you're supposed to go, but is there any way you can track the specific location of the bus or just go right by that time slot?
We don't have an app. Some systems have an app where you can see on your phone or whatever where the bus is. We don't have that yet. We hope to have that sometime in the future. But right now, people just call us all the time. And most people have a cell phone, so if they're standing at the bus stop and it feels like the bus should have been here and I'm getting a little anxious about why isn't it here yet, people can call and we can look up and see where the bus is exactly on our computer and and reassure the person, yes, the bus is coming,
Right.
You're in the right place, and those kind of things, yeah.
Yeah, because you can go into a panic when you're just sitting there,
That,
if it happens to
that
you.
is the hardest thing for people who haven't ridden in a long time or they've never ridden, is standing at the bus stop. I swear, a minute turns into 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you just start rolling over in your head the things about, am I in the right place? Is the bus
Exactly.
really coming? Will I recognize it when it gets here? Will it stop for me? All those questions just start to roll in your head.
Right.
And time stretches. So
Definitely.
we encourage people to just give us a call and we'll make sure that they're in the right place and not going to miss their bus.
All right, so, give them a call when this is going on, but what are the hours of operation? Is it every day? How does this work?
We are in service Monday through Friday from 5:15 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night.
Wow, that's a long time.
And then on Saturday, we start at 7:15 in the morning and go till 7 at night. We don't operate on Sunday, and there are 6 holidays during the year that we don't operate. So, those are a pretty good range of hours
Definitely.
for people to get to work and school and shop and whatever else they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a few moments to put some information on the screen for our viewers at home. If you would like to get more information about the St. Joseph Transit, you can give them a call at 816-233-6700 or visit the website located on your screen at stjotransit.info. All right, so we're talking about the different buses, but let's talk about some of the services and what the bus is equipped with. Are these buses handicap accessible?
Yes, every one of our buses has a ramp at the front door that makes it possible for somebody who uses a wheelchair or crutches or just doesn't do steps well to get on the bus easily. Basically, it just flips out and makes a level surface for somebody to walk from the sidewalk onto the bus without having to do any steps.
Right.
And same thing, at the end of their trip, it just flips out and they can roll right off or walk right off.
Yeah.
It's good for people who are carrying a lot of packages, where it's hard to climb steps if you're carrying a lot of things.
Exactly.
Or again, if you've got little kids with you, anybody can ask to have the ramp flipped out.
Oh, I was just going to ask that.
It's easy to do and quick. So if somebody isn't obviously in need of the ramp, all they need to do is just say, I could use the ramp, and the driver will flip it right out for them.
All right, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and then the buses have inside, there are 2 places for wheelchairs to be secured, so we can have place for 2 people at a time who use wheelchairs. There are grab holds on the back of every seat. There's a bar to hold on to, and there are also some stanchions through the bus that go from the floor to the ceiling, so there's plenty of things to hold on to. We prefer that people be seated when the bus is rolling, but if it gets really busy and there aren't seats available, people can stand and ride the bus. So that's why there's plenty of things to hold on to.
Right, so definitely accessible for everyone.
Right, it is. We also have bike racks on the front of the buses.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there's space for 2 bikes up on the front, and they're really, really easy to use. The instructions are on them. A 10-year-old could put their bike up on the bike rack.
Yeah, so you don't have to have any assistance.
No assistance is needed, no special training. It's really easy to use. There's no cost to it. We just ask that you remember to take your bike with you when you get where you're going.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people use that. We've been surprised and pleased at how many people take advantage of the bike racks.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because you would typically think since they're having a bike, they're not really thinking of other means of transportation.
Except, sometimes people might live a little bit away from the bus stop and or want to have their bike with them where they're going, like if they're going to the park or whatever. So anyway, people do use that quite a bit.
All right. Okay, so earlier you said to get information about the location of the bus, you can give them a call, but are there other ways to receive bus information?
Right. We have all of our information is on our website, and you displayed that number or that information. The routes, the schedules, the fares, how to use the bus, how to get a transfer, our days and hours of operation, everything is on that website. Okay. And people can also call us, and that's really what we encourage first-time riders to do, because it's a little bit overwhelming the first time you ride, especially trying to read a schedule.
Right.
So first-time riders, we just call us. Our folks are really good at answering people's questions. They answer questions you don't even know you've got.
Right.
Yeah. And one of my dispatchers is bilingual in Spanish, so sometimes that works out really well for some folks who need that assistance. We also have printed materials, so people can pick up our ride guide and schedules and things at our offices, on the buses. City Hall has them. There are places around town that have our printed materials as well.
We're going to put some more information for our viewers at home. Again, just as Mary just said, if you would like more information about St. Joseph Transit, call that number on the screen at 816-233-6700. Or if you want to just get a brief overview of all the information itself, you can visit that website at stjotransit.info. All right, so in riding this bus, you mentioned that it's handicap accessible, they have different poles to hold on to. So what are some safety tips you would give to our viewers in the community for riding the bus as well as being in the vicinity of the bus?
So like you're talking about like getting to the bus stop or safety at the bus stop?
Definitely.
Okay, well, basically, to start with, pedestrian safety rules apply. Make sure that you check both ways before you cross the street to get to your bus stop.
Right.
We don't want you to have an injury doing that. Stay off of your phone when you're crossing the street. Yes. There are more and more, unfortunately, more and more accidents where people who are looking at their phone and not paying attention to cars and things around them are involved in accidents. So pay attention to that. At the bus stop, try to be aware of your surroundings. If you can walk to a bus stop that has a light in the evening or in the early morning when it's dark, that would be preferable if you have a choice.
Right.
But basically, your basic pedestrian safety rules apply. I would add that traffic does not stop for a city transit bus.
Oh, okay.
So we're different from school bus in that way. You know how everybody stops for a school bus?
They put the sign out.
They don't do that for transit. And so when you get off of the bus, you need to step to the sidewalk, wait for the bus to leave so that you can see traffic both directions before you cross the street. Because cars are not going to stop like they do for a school bus. So we really try to encourage people to be careful about that, especially like teenagers who are riding and have been used to riding a school bus maybe, and so they're used to traffic stopping, right, and they don't for us.
All right, so in closing, you've mentioned several benefits from riding the transit, but what are some other things you want to mention for our viewers to take away?
I would just encourage people to give the transit system a try. If it's been a long time since you rode, or maybe you've never ridden a public transit system anywhere, even in St. Joe, come give us a try. Right. We're very friendly. It's a small system. The drivers are really awesome folks. Right. If you don't know what you're doing or have a question, they're happy to help you. So I would encourage people to give it a try, and maybe not wait till you're in panic mode to do it. When the car won't start this morning, maybe give it a try under a more relaxed setting first, so you kind of get a feel for it when you're not pushed. Get
the actual overall experience versus being stressed.
Right, when you don't have the additional stress on top there, right?
All right.
I would also just say that it's a really great way for teenagers to get around. The ones that are old enough that you feel comfortable that they'll be able to manage themselves without you there watching them. But maybe they or their friends aren't driving yet. They're a good group to encourage to use the bus to get around and save yourself driving them. All right. Well, Mary Gaston, thank you for joining us. You're welcome. Thank you for having me. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Joy in Our Town, TBN St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman, and have a wonderful week.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Warren with Joy in Our Town, and we have an exciting guest today that has many different solutions for your teenagers. Yes, sixth graders and up that's looking for something fun to do this summer. We want to keep them off the streets and keep them doing positive things while school is out. So hang on to your seat. You're in for a treat. You are watching TBN KTAJ Channel 16, Joy in Our Town. Dr. James Smith,
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you back. You're no novice at doing this. So today, let's tell the world about the cutting edge program, Tuskegee Eagles. What does that mean for our community?
Well, I think I would like to start out by showing our viewers this picture.
Okay.
And this is an airplane, a flyable airplane. It's a 2-passenger plane that was built by teenagers.
Wow.
It took them a year and a few months to build it. It was actually first flew back in 1989, and we built it in a school. But nonetheless, it was constructed by teenagers, and they got to fly in it after it was finished.
That is beautiful.
And so we have in St. Joe a program on Saturday mornings during the summer for young people to come and participate in the construction of a small airplane such as this. These airplanes come in a big kit, looks like a model airplane in a kit about 15 or 20 feet long, and in a big box, and you take it apart and take it out of the box and build it.
Right.
So the purpose of what we are doing in St. Joe is to give the kids an opportunity to advance beyond their possibilities for the summer. Many of them don't have a lot to do, not much going on.
Right.
It gives them an opportunity to learn how aviation works and the opportunities in aviation, everything from mechanics to pilots to the Air National Guard, that sort of thing. They learn about the various opportunities that way. And they get to build on this airplane. And we have one now that was donated to us by an estate of a gentleman who started the project, and then he passed away. So his family donated the kit and the project to us. And we will be working on that some. We expect that we will have another kit actually for the kids to complete. The one that we have, we do not consider to be probably ever airworthy, but it'll be great for them to learn mechanical skills and sheet metal and cutting and bolting and all the things that they get to do. Learn about the engines and aeronautics and aviation. And so the purpose of the program is for kids to, through aviation, learn that they can rise above whatever circumstances they may be facing in life. And the notion of the Tuskegee Eagles is which we've named the organization, is based upon the Tuskegee Airmen. And they were a black squadron of fighter pilots in World War II during a time in which black people were not even considered capable of flying an airplane, let alone fighting in the war. And so they had this group based and trained in Tuskegee, Alabama, and they ultimately were probably the most successful single fighter squadron in the war. They escorted bombers from Italy over Germany during the part of the war, and they, depending on who you ask, which authority, they only lost one bomber or maybe none.
Wow.
There have been 2 or 3 movies made about them. The movie was the most recent one was titled Red Tails. They titled them that because they painted their tails of their planes red. And so here are a community of people with cultural limitations that they didn't deserve, and they didn't have any real chance on their own to rise above, but they did. And they became highly successful at it. So we've patterned this program after their example for kids in the community who can use, through aviation, rise above and be successful in life and see that there are a lot more opportunities out there than what they may see as the future holds for them.
Well, now you've been dealing with aviation for a while, even though you're a dietitian and a licensed chiropractor. How did you get into flying and being a pilot and building planes?
I was born with it. I literally, since as long as I can remember, was infatuated with airplanes. And so I learned to fly when I was 16.
Wow.
And these kids can do that too. I mean, they can fly, and it's expensive, but if a kid has a way and a will to do it, they can learn to fly. And I just grew up with it. And when I was in school at Kansas State, I became a flight instructor. And during part-time after school and at K-State, I would teach people to fly at the local airport. From there, became a charter pilot and a corporate pilot, and one thing led to another. And here we are. And the Experimental Aircraft Association is the national organization that it's actually a worldwide organization that is the driving force behind building of your own airplane. They sponsor the big fly-in in Oshkosh, Wisconsin every year, which many people have heard of that. And so they have a Young Eagles program wherein the local chapters, such as we have here in St. Joe, actually give kids airplane rides for free. And so we combine, to get the name of our organization, Tuskegee Eagles, we combine the concept of Young Eagles from the EAA and building and flying with the notion and the example of the Tuskegee Airmen as something that would be kind of a cool name.
Right.
And so that's how that all evolved.
Now, you deal with a lot of youth from many different backgrounds, and they have many different challenges. Let the parents and the youth that are watching the show today, let us know how this fills a void in the family's life. And we have many parents that are working 2 jobs and working around the clock, and the kids have a lot of free time on their hands. So how does this program help redirect those kids where there may not be a dad in the home, or the parents are just both working around the clock?
Well, it gives them something to do. And once they see how much fun this is and the really amazing things that they learn, they are pretty well committed to it. And we meet on Saturday mornings during the summer, and we're thinking we might add another weekday to that, but right now it's Saturday mornings at the airport. And they work on the plane and do this. So how does that affect the family? Well, it gives them incentive to do something besides sleep in and work on their cell phone, play the games all the time.
They're actually going to take some plane rides too, is that correct?
Yes.
You've actually taken hundreds of kids up and to Tarkio and to air shows, and tell us about that experience. Some kids may be afraid of heights, but tell us about how that's been very beneficial to the kids.
Well, it's surprising how many kids have never been in an airplane of any kind. And we will have a Youth and Aviation Week, and during that time they will get to help build the, help refurbish the fuel tanks at the Rosecrans Airport. They're going to paint them big giant fuel tanks. They will get to go to Tarkio, Missouri to help prepare the airport there for their annual air show, and they will each one get an airplane ride out of the deal. And so they definitely get to go flying, and as an incentive for their successful participation in the program that we have to offer them, part of the incentive will be that they will get more flying as a reward for doing a good job in their participation.
Who is an ideal candidate for this program? Because you're dealing with tools, and you're cutting metal, and you're hammering and nailing and power tools, and so who's an ideal candidate?
Any student, we like from 8th grade and up through high school, boys or girls, and we try to keep all their fingers attached. And so yeah, any student, particularly those maybe whose home does not have a whole lot going on for them in the summer, and the parents are not there, and so most any kid, any student really.
And those 8th graders are kind of in a stage where they really don't need a babysitter, but the parents are really apprehensive about leaving them home all day just to watch TV, or maybe we know every summer crime rises in our community, teen pregnancy rises, cases of juvenile delinquencies go up, and we feel kids are just bored. And so you're targeting those kids that don't fit into daycare centers and really need, but maybe not old enough to get a job either.
Now, our kids are not bored. In fact, it's almost too much activity. Try to cram into the time frames that we have, but they enjoy it.
Right. If you're just now tuning in to Joy in Our Town today, our special guest is Dr. James Smith. He is a dietitian and chiropractor, but he's not talking about that today. He's talking about an aviation program for youth, 8th graders and up. Every summer, and this summer, every Saturday, they're going to actually build their own plane. If you'll look at the information on the screen, we'll tell you how to get in touch with him. His number is 816-253-1049. That's 816-253-1049. 253-1049. The website is TuskegeeEagles.com. That's no spaces, Tuskegee Eagles. There'll be 3 E's together when you type this out, TuskegeeEagles.com. This group will be meeting at Rosecrans every Saturday morning, 9 to 12, but you must call first and pre-enroll your student if they're interested in the program. Some free flights also available. And do you have any success stories so far about the skills that the kids, because you've been doing this a couple years now, right?
Yes.
Here in Rosecrans, what are the skills that they have learned? What are they saying that how this has enriched the family or the youth's life by being a part of this program?
Well, a major component of this is to build relationships and mentoring type relationships with the students. And we have a couple who are doing really well. One of them is beyond the age limit now. He has a good job and is doing really well. We have another student who was from over in Kansas, and he did so well that the local Experimental Aircraft Association chapter sent him the aviation camp last summer. And he's doing really well. He's learning to fly, has a job, and part-time job, and he's saving his money, and he takes flying lessons at the airport whenever he has an opportunity. And so, yeah, the opportunities are there, and if they will commit, well, they will do really well. And the adult sponsors and mentors and teachers who we have working with them are committed to this. And if the students show the interest and the commitment, there will be no problem having the adults involved to do the same with them.
What type of mentors are you looking for to help these youth?
Well, they don't have to necessarily be aviation pilots or specialists, but male, even females to some degree, because girls are invited to be a part of this. It would be good if they had some skills with shop activities and hands and construction with tools and sheet metal and to some degree fiberglass and that sort of thing, engine overhaul. We have teachers who are ex-instructors out at Hilliard and tech schools, so that's the kind of person who we would welcome to help out.
Wonderful. Again, this is a free program. It doesn't cost a thing, but some of their time and their investment.
Yes.
After the program, do you think some of the kids would like to have a career in aviation, whether it's a mechanic or an aviation attorney or whatever?
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Some of the students who helped build this plane that we showed earlier, I know one of them went on to be in the military and he flew fighter jets, and I think another went on to be an airline pilot or corporate pilots. And yeah, they definitely carry on with some of it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for
you're
being
welcome.
on the show today, and we wish you much success with this program. Again, if you're just now tuning in closing, our special guest has been Dr. James Smith. He is the founder and CEO of Tuskegee Eagles. Go to their website, call today, and sign up for the summer program. Space is limited. They meet at Rosecrans on Saturdays, 9 to 12, but you must pre-enroll. Call them at 816-253-1049. That's 253-1049. You can also go to the website, TuskegeeEagles.com. We want to thank you all for watching our show today, and have a wonderful week.
This program has been sponsored by the Trinity Broadcasting Network and made possible by your telethon dollars. Your continual support can keep Joy in Our Town brought to your home every day. So write Joy in Our Town, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711.